Welcome class 11 to the business studies class. Today we are going to understand chapter 2, forms of business organization. Okay, so now we all know that business activities cannot be performed in isolation. They have to be organized in an appropriate manner. As such, forms of business organization are essentially required because one has to decide as per the nature and the activities which he or she is going to be continuing in business, that which type of ownership is he or she going to adopt for his business purpose. Now, ownership involves huge capital investment, management, and sharing profits. Okay. In this context, we can understand that on the basis of formation, business organization can be divided into 5 categories. Correct? Before understanding the various forms of business organization, let us just pay attention to the definition given by Professor Haney. Correct? He said that the forms of business organization should be so strong that it can continue for a long time and small obstructions cannot come into the way of extinguishing or stopping the business activities. Correct? Thus, appropriate form of business organization is determined by considering the merits and limitations of each type of organization against the requirement of the single business person or a group of business person or the family business or the company form of organization or the organization which is set up voluntarily and for the betterment of all its members. So here itself I gave you a brief idea about the various forms of business organization. Now the first one is sole proprietorship. Correct? Let us first have a look on the name itself. First, sole proprietorship. Second, joint Hindu family business. Third, partnership. Fourth, cooperative societies. Fifth, joint stock companies. Okay, now, so these are the 5 forms of business organization, and as already told you, the merits, limitations, features, etc. will be considered while deciding which type of organization one intends to choose for operating its business activities. Okay, let me start with the first form, that is sole proprietorship. We all know that sole means single only and proprietor means owner. So sole proprietorship means single form of ownership where there is only one person who owns, manages and controls the business organization, and so the name is justified, sole proprietorship. Correct? Now, a if you want to understand the definition, now let us move to the next slide. It is sole proprietorship refers to a form of business organization which is owned, which is managed and which is controlled by an individual. As such, he is the recipient of all profits and bearer of all risk. Correct? This form is also known as sole trader or individual proprietorship or individual entrepreneurship. This is the oldest and simplest form of business organization. It is very much common in areas of personalized services like beauty parlors, chemist shop, grocery stores, stationery shows, dairy booths. That is, all such shops which are conducting activities on small scale and in the nearby area or the vicinity of locality. Correct? So as already I told you about Haney sir's definition about the forms of business organization, in the same way I will give you the definition given by Professor Haney. He said that individual proprietorship is the form of business organization at the head of which stands an individual who is the responsible, who directs its operation and who alone runs the risk of failure. Means there is a single person who is the sole recipient of all profits and bearer of all risk of the business, which is owned, managed and controlled by a single owner. Now we move to the features of sole proprietorship. The first one is easy formation and closure. Second, one man ownership and control. Third, sole risk bearer and recipient of profit. Fourth, unlimited liability. Fifth, no separate entity. And last one, lack of business continuity. We come to the first one, that is easy formation and closure. So this is the oldest, I said simplest. So it is very much understood that there are not many legal formalities required to start such form of organization. No such, apart from few cases like arms and weapons or medicines, etc., fireworks, etc. We don't require license to start this formation. There is no separate law that governs sole proprietorship. It can be dissolved or closed when the sole trader wants. So the formation as well as closure is very easy. Correct? First point, no legal formalities, no separate law, and closure of business is also very easy. Next, one man ownership and control. Sole owner and controller of business. He makes all decisions relating to his business and carries out his plan. Correct? Then any risk or failure is borne by him alone because he is only responsible of all business affairs. And in the same way, if the business is successful and it is turning out profitable, then it helps the sole trader to reap the direct reward. Third, also sole risk bearer and recipient of profit, which is the extension of point number 1 and point number 2. The owner is alone, so he has to bear the loss. See how stressful the single person is. He has to bear the responsibility, the stress, okay, because he is only responsible for the result of the business. And suppose if the business is growing, then the profit is also his reward. Next is unlimited liability. The liability of the owner is unlimited because there is no one to share. Means he will be personally responsible for payment of debts in case the assets of the business are not sufficient to meet all the debts. So the business owner can't excuse himself or can't run away from the losses. He has to personally bear. His personal property will be utilized or will be sold off to pay off the business debts. No separate entity. A proprietor and the business are one and the same. A sole proprietor business has no legal existence separate from its owner. Okay, means the owner will be responsible in all cases. He will be held for the result of all the activities of business. And the last one is lack of continuity of business. The business will come to an end if the owner dies or he turns out to be of an insane mind, if he is imprisonment or is suffering from some physical ailment or due to the burden of losses or the burden of debt, if the business becomes insolvent, correct, then the sole trader will also be declared insolvent. His personal belongings or assets will be used to repay the business debts, and finally the business will come to the closure. Okay, so there is no continuity. Okay, so today we understood the different forms of business organization, namely the names. Then in depth we understood the meaning, the definition and features of sole trading. In the next class we are going to understand the merits and demerits. Till then, read, watch the video and feel relaxed. Bye.